Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers. I've got my little Riley boy here. Today is Friday and we're on Easter half term. First things first, you've got a parcel of Riley boy that turned up just yesterday for you, so you can get stuck into that. I have already pre-opened it because I know what it is. I'd like to make sure that no one sends you anything they shouldn't be sending you. I believe it's come off my Amazon wish list, so I'm going to check that out. Feel free. Do you want a knife, boy?
I'll do it.
I did retake. Well, you can't use a knife. No, hell no. You got it there? Okay. Good lad. Bit of paper.
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. That's a receipt.
You need a knife?
Do you want a knife?
Yeah.
Have a look, buddy. I think you can see what it is already.
I'll do it.
Hang on. I'm trying to find out where it's opened or where it's sealed. It is there somewhere in here.
I'll do it.
Hang on. I'll get in there. Hang on with your little fingers. There you go. Right. Now get in there. See.
Oh my gosh!
What you got? That's it. Use your muscles. You got one. There's one. What you got then? What are they? Kinder Egg Surprise. He's got 2 packs of Kinder Egg Surprises. They're the only sort of chocolates or enjoyments that Riley boy eats. He doesn't eat any sweets, anything like that. So you've got 2 packs of Kinder Egg Surprises, and they've come from, gently because you'll break them, a gift note from Henry Maworski. Enjoy this gift. Happy birthday, Riley boy, from the USA, from Henry. So, today is Riley boy's birthday. So, super happy. Happy 10 years old to little Riley boy.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. You got your presents yet?
Maybe.
Maybe, we'll see. You haven't had them yet. But you'll have them a bit later on today, no problem.
I don't eat a bunny balloon.
And it's a bunny balloon indoors, isn't it?
Yeah.
How big is it?
A big one.
It's a big one, yeah, it is big.
Doorstep.
A girl come on the doorstep, that's quite like good talking, yeah, well done. So today we're going to be having a look at my friend Jim, Matthew's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He popped up the other day. He's a lawn care bloke, and he's popped up. He's going to buy a Rotovator, I think it's a rear-tined Rotovator, and he's going to purchase it, but it's not running. And he said to the bloke, he'll purchase it as long as I can get it to run, and whatever deal we want to work out once I've got it running. That's what it is. But at the moment, nice rototiller in really good condition, with I think it's got a 5 or 6 horsepower flat head, overhead valve Briggsy on it. But doesn't run. Jim has had a little look in the carburetor, said it was particularly bad, but has since put it all back together best he can and brought it around to me. So we're going to have a little look at that today, see if we can't get that machine to run. If we can get it to run, then Jim should have a good little deal to purchase his Rotovator going forward for his little business. So that's the idea. If it's your first time in watching Micks Mowers, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all.
Ding.
That way you'll be told when I've done a video or 2 on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's check out this rear-tined Rotovator. Right, there he goes with his Easter eggs from my mate Henry. Thank you very much. Birthday eggs. Thank you very much, Henry. So here's a little rear-tined tiller. It's not little. So that's a good size. It's not a commercial one, but it's in good nick. Let's see if we can see what the old engine says on it. I did see a date on it. It was on the valve cover, I believe. Yeah. You better get in the door, mate. No problem. 2012, 22nd of January 2012 it was built. So it's got a overhead valve 6.5 Briggsy on it. I have tried to pull it over and tried to pour some carburetor spray down it. I'm getting nothing at all. But Jim has had the carburetor apart, so I don't think even the fuel was hooked up or anything. So no point in starting it. It's in really good condition. I don't think it's done a great deal of work. And he just wants it just for his little garden business, just for tilling over lawns and all that sort of stuff. So what we'll do is we'll get it up on the bench. There's no point in trying to start it because it's in bits. So we'll get it up on the bench straight away and see if we can't get this machine stripped down and get it to at least fire. If we can get it to fire, then we're on to a winner. It may be the engine's no good at all. Might be the engine's done. I have no idea. We shall see. So let's get up on the bench, have a quick little look. Oh, before we go in the shed, I thought I'd just show you this little puppy. Picked this up just yesterday. What do you think of that? That's that big one I was talking about in my live stream the other week. A nice little it's only a 30-inch cut, Atco B30E Royal. So I think it actually belonged to Princess Margaret, I think, this one. So I've done one for the Queen, and this is one for old Maggie. So we'll have a look at this one. It comes with the old grass box as well. Nice big old grass box there, huge big thing. It does run to a fashion, but wants a good looking over and a service and all that sort of good stuff. Electric start, all that sort of happy stuff. So yeah, super happy with that. That coming up soon. Keep an eye out for that. Right, so I've actually built a little ramp because I was getting a bit of a bad back syndrome with moving these machines about. So let me grab the old tiller. I don't think it's in gear. No, it's not. It's handy. So I built myself a little ramp just so I can get stuff up on the ramp and in the workshop with relative ease, rather than mucking about doing my backing. There we go. And once it's up in the shed, I can then manoeuvre my table to get it up on the table as well. So that's pretty cool. So let me get it up on the bench with my ramp. I'm absolutely flat out at the moment. I'm not even joking, and I mean flat out. So I've got bits and pieces of projects absolutely everywhere. The generator video you've already probably seen. I've got the parts for that. That's now come in, so I can now get on and do that. That's on the floor in bits at the moment. I've got Atco bound morals to do. I've got about 3 of those to get on with, because you can't get to it. So I've got loads of bits and pieces to remove. I am going to need a magnet tray, and my fear is I don't have a spare one because I've got projects on the go. So I'm going to use a little Chinese tub for now, just to act as the same thing. So flathead driver first. I want to remove this air filter and assembly here. So my mate Jim has had it apart to have a little look at it, because I think he used to do a little bit of mechanics on the small engines himself anyway, but he said when he looked at the carburetor, he just put it back together and said, "Dope, that's one for Mick." Cheers, Jim. So out that comes air filter. Yeah, not too bad. It's got a pre-filter in there as well. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Fuel line's not hooked up at all. Nothing there. We've got fuel in the tank. Not a lot of fuel. Got a bit of fuel. Let's turn the old fuel on. No fuel coming through. That's a bit concerning. Okay. Turn that off. So I want to remove some of this guarding now. Looks to be about an 8mm, something like that. I'd say about an 8. That'll do your job. I just want to remove the old the muffkin guard, because you can't get the spark plug out really. Well, you can. Access is very, very limited. So by removing some of this guarding, will just aid you in getting into it. I've got a Torx bit down the bottom there. I've got one over here to do. That's that bit. Yeah, that's all loose. I've got a Torx bit over the far side to do. I'll find the right size mic. That might help. There it goes. That was a good guess. So remove the older guard. Now all I want to do really is just test for spark, number one. Test for the old spark. I'll lose that nut and bolt if I'm careful. That Torx bit. There it is. Take that out. I can't remove it, all of that without. Oh, that's a nice design, we like that. I've got to remove the exhaust. There's a little tiny quarter exhaust bolt there as well. Got to remove that. Already we're fighting with the machine just to try and get this off. That's the one. Get me impact. Oh, my shed is in such a mess. I tell you, it is proper. Bruce from Bruce's shop would be proud. He'd walk in here, Bruce, wouldn't he? He'd walk straight back out again. He'd go, nope, not doing it. Right. That now comes apart. You've got to take the fuel tank off now, have you? I hope not. There you go, right, that comes off. Right, we're halfway sensible. So now I can at least get access to a plug with ease. So let's have that plug out. What is that in there? It's an overhead valve job. Overhead valvey, so that should be the small one. On an extension bar, people. That should be the right one, he says. Oh my word. What's in there? Let's try you job. I think you're the one then. Yeah, you're the one. Right, let's take that out. Oh my word. That was in there. I dare say fitted from new. Spark plug snapped. That's Andy Harry. Hopefully we can retrieve it. Yeah, we can. Right, let's take that out. Now it's got an old Champion in there. They don't smell too bad, but as it's just broke on me, we'll put a new one in. I'm going to put a Briggs overhead valve plug in here. And these are the Champions RC14YCs. These are the overhead valve ones. So that Champion plug's no good. That might be why I didn't want to start. It's funny how it just snapped on me like that. So I'm going to put that into the old housing, put it up against something metallic, turn it on, start is that way, give that a pull, see what we get. Yeah, I've got a spark. Spark all day long, so she's sparking, so that's good. Let's get a bit of carby spray, which fell out the door earlier on, and we'll put a bit of spray down the old head of here. Try and fit another straw to that, I think. That might be a good idea. So I can get right inside the old bore. Make sure it's carby spray, make sure it's not paint. I've done that before. Right, bit of carby spray. Brand new plug going in. Now the reason you got to take them guards off is because by the time you get your plug out with the guard on, your carb spray would have evaporated. It takes an absolute age. So we'll do that up. Nice and tight. We'll turn it on, put the HT lid back on, I suppose that might help things. Turn it on, give it a pull, just want to see if it'll actually fire up or not of its own back. Okay, so it fires up, so we know we've got a combustible engine. That's cool, we're happy with that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this this carby. So let me get repositioned and I'll come back to you before we start stripping it down. Right, so it looks like we're good to go. Are they 10s? They don't look like 10s, they look like blinking 8s. They've changed them in design, haven't they? old Briggs and Stratton there having a change of design. It's a 7mm. That ain't no good to me. I had the 8 a minute ago, didn't I? That looks like an 8. I'm on a bad guess. So we're going to have a carby off now. It looks like 2 8mm. There's no ring. That's for the oil. He's replaced that. He did mention that. That one there. That one there. That was no bits. That's it. And we got a valve breather. That can come off. And then we've got a Torx bit, which I had earlier on, which I think actually fell on the floor. I heard it drop. That's like quite a good size actually. That's the one. So 2 Torx bits, and they weren't tight. So I say Jim has been in here. He had a little look. He said he did. Just double check and make sure everything is where it should be. All the governor spring is on, all that sort of stuff. So I'll have carby off. Now, the only thing that concerns me, as I say, is that there is fuel in this machine. I was getting no fuel coming out of the tank. It does concern me slightly. There might be that old screen there. It's not a filter, it's actually a screen. We've got a carb insulation block. That can come off. And then we can then tip this carby round, put it back on itself, and remove the linkage and the governor spring. All in one go. If I can get hold of that spring, it would really, really help. There it goes. Right, that's carby off. That'll go onto the bench in a minute, we'll have a look at that. But as I say, we have got fuel in tank. Or whether or not it wasn't just full enough to do anything, I don't know. So I'm going to put a bit more fuel in. Not a lot, just a bit. That should be plentiful. Do that back up. Turn the fuel on. Nothing. No fuel at all. And that's gravity fed, man. So what's occurring now, I say to myself? Let's take that off. Oh, my word, my word, my word. There it goes. Oh, now turn it on. There it goes. Right. So that screen must be blocked. Let me get my air compressor. Let me just move you. I've got some spare screens of these. Let me give that a quick blow for it. I can see through it, so. Do that. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to undo the old fuel tank lid slightly. I'm going to put my air compressor up into a tank. I'm going to turn the fuel on whilst, give it a little bit of air, like that. And that'll just push all the vapours out through the top of the tank. That just sort of cleans that area out, blows it out. I'll probably give it a tank flush anyway. So let's now see what we get now that that's been flushed. A pair of red handled long nose pliers, Bruce. That's it. Let's turn the fuel back on. No fuel. There you go. It's running through in there. There you go. That fuel's nice and yellow. So we're going to drain that fuel out anyway. And I'm going to put a new, I think I've got some spare screens of these. These aren't a filter, people. They're just a screen. That's all they are. So don't be thinking they're actually a filter, because they're not. They're actually a screen in there. But anyway, we have now got fuel coming through. We didn't have fuel earlier on, so that's a bit blocked. We should renew that anyway. So let's go over to the bench, have a look at this little carburetor, start stripping it down. He said it was particularly bad from what he said, so we'll have a little look, see what we can't do with that, and hopefully we'll get it stripped down, get it cleaned up, and we'll go from there. Right, what we got on the bottom of that? About an 1/2 inch, I'd say. Let's grab an 1/2 inch in. 1/2 inch, that should be you. If it's in the right place. It is in the right place, my word. Bruce, it was in the right place. Bruce will be proud. So, let's grab my 1/2 inch on an impact. Now this shouldn't be done up tight, because I think Jim said he actually went in the float bowl, so it shouldn't be up that tight. I'm going to put some gloves on, only because I did slightly burn myself on the kettle today. So I haven't long woken up from a night shift. I've had about 3.5 hours sleep, and because my mate Taffy was round, I just slightly scalded myself on with a kettle. So that and carburetor spray and whatever is probably not the best of ideas. So we'll cover ourselves up a little bit. We'll get a bit of light turned on. As I say, at the moment, I am super busy, and I mean busy. Got so many bits and pieces on. Let's put the old chair up. That's better. Let's unplug that battery for now, and we'll plug my light in. Bit of light on the old subject. How does that suit you? Something like that. All right, let's have a little look then. 1/2 inch on the drive. We'll give that a little buzz. Oh, not even done up tight. Okay. Oh Lord, I'll see this. You know when you see that yellow mildew when you undo the nut? I'm seeing that already. Oh, it smells lush. Oh, that's all grabby. Okay, it's not shocking. I've seen a lot worse than that. I've seen a lot. I mean, I've seen stuff with COVID in it, so it's not too bad. In fact, some of Conker's carburetors look like this after he's cleaned them. Let's try and take that out, if that'll come out. Poor old Conker. He's having problems with a lawnmower at the moment. It's only taken him 6 months to try and get it to my house. I said, right, that's a pin out. There's a seat. That's it. That's all we've got on this little carby. There's nothing else on it. So do we put it in the cleaner, or do we not? I think not. I think we're going to go for one of Jason Pate's Quick and Dirties. Now, it is a particularly bad carburetor. I'm going to soak it. I'm going to run through all the holes best I can. Or do we put it in the cleaner, Mick? What do you reckon? Should we put it in the cleaner? I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if we get all the ports running first. That might be the first thing to do. No, that ain't going to run. That's just starting to run. That one there ain't running for nothing. Okay. Little manual choke. We've got a little tiny jet right down the back here. That ran out your side, is it, people? Feels like it is. Yeah, down through the tube. Another one alongside it. One right down in there. Happy with that. Now, pretty much, that's the carburetor done. However, it is particularly grimy. Got a bit of wire wool there somewhere. I had it out earlier on, didn't I? If not, I've got a spare bit. Let's have a little look, see how it comes up. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Although there's a lot of gunk on there. I might get my toothbrush in here. I'm gonna have a bit of a clean up, just a manual clean up. I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's not too shabby. I've seen a lot worse. It's just gunk in there. It's actually water, I think. The bowl wants a good clean too. The bowl should be whitish in colour. of the float, sorry, and the bowl itself, that will come up with a wire brush, wire wool treatment. That will come up. So that's what I'm going to do, I think. Yeah, it's particularly bad, so that's fine. I'll do that, and then also we've got the main jet to do. Now this is being a Briggs. Now I have my Briggs driller here. This is one I always put by for quantums. There it is. And I'm just going to literally drill that jet out. I found that one to be just right. There it goes. That's gone in there. See, I've just taken a little bit of brass off, not a lot. Put that one back so I don't lose it. Let's run that through. There it goes. That's running lovely. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of petrol, and I'm going to get a bit of wire wool, and I'm just going to give these components a bit of a clean up, a bit of a manual clean with a toothbrush and what have you. Nothing too pressing, because it is just sludge, so hopefully we get most of this off. So let me get it cleaned up and I'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, got a bit of dirty petrol there. We're pretty much there, I think, people. Carbu's come up pretty well, quite happy with the carburetor. There's a few little spots on it, but it shouldn't hurt it. The float is now much whiter than what it was before it come into a shack, and the bowl as well has responded very well indeed, so that's good. So quite happy with all of that sort of stuff. So we're now going to put the needle back onto the float. Goes in a little tiny slot like so, just sits there, and then we can then fit that into its little tiny respective home. Get our pin and put that in. Now that was a bit hard to get out originally. Let's see how we get on. It might want a bit of tap. How it's going. Let's give it a little bit of a tap or something. Don't have it too boisterous. That's it. All right, let's see how that goes. They put the tap right upside down, you can't get hold of it. Yeah? Oh, hang on, somebody at the door, 2 seconds. It was a parcel for next door, it wasn't for us. Yeah, that's working fine. Happy with that. That's all moving as it should do. I did give it a bit of a clean with a Q-tip as well, just to try and get it to run as well, so that will help it. Bolt can go back on now. And then the nut, and I've got a little washer there as well to put on. And I won't zip that up, I'll do that with a little 1/2 inch socket just on its own, just on a ratchet, so I won't zip that up. Right, and that's it. Carburetor is now cleaned. So if I go back on the machine now, I'll meet you over there, and we'll refit it, and then hopefully we'll be a bit closer to try and get this machine to start up for my mate Jim. 2 ticks. Okay, so I want to drain this fuel out next. Let's turn the old fuel on. I did start it, and just going to drain all this fuel out of this machine because the fuel's got a bit of a yellowy colour to it, and I'll get a bit of a flush as well. And then I'm going to change that screen for a new one. They are just a screen, and you know, they do block up. But not actually a filter, as I said in previous clips, so just be wary of that. So I'll let this fuel drain out, and then I'll come back to you once it's done so, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, tank's now had a flush. Put some fresh fuel in, a new filter as well. These do restrict the flow definitely as well. These screens, I'm not a fan, to be fair. Now what we can do is we can now try and fit the governor spring on first. There's 2 holes. There's a bigger hole and a small hole. The bigger hole has a governor arm, and the smaller hole has a governor spring. So we'll fit the spring on first.
Where?
Just here, Riley boy. Are you back, are you? What have you been up to? Anything good?
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
No swing, no slide.
Eh?
No swing.
No swing, no slide.
No trampoline.
No trampoline.
With a budget castle.
Yeah. You want a bouncy castle?
Yeah.
I haven't got one of them.
Is your dodge okay?
Eh?
Is your dodge okay?
Yeah. Right. That's a governor arm and spring on. We've got the little tiny carb insulation block that goes on with this little tiny lip facing inside the carby.
Right there?
Yeah, it goes inside there like so. Like that. That and all sits up together like so.
You're
We can
messy,
then
Daddy.
get. Say again, buddy.
You're messy.
It is very messy in here, mate. You're quite right.
You're
Tell
more-
Bruce. Tell Bruce. Hey, Bruce. Dad's shop's a mess. Come and sort it out.
Bruce, you're messy, shop.
Yeah, that's it. You tell Bruce.
Who, Bruce?
Bruce in Canada. Say hi, Bruce.
Where?
He's in Canada.
Hi, Bruce.
Yeah, Brucey boy. Daddy's friend.
Oh, it's your bedroom.
He does come on last room. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I love Bruce, Bruce.
You love Bruce, do you? I expect Bruce loves you quite a bit too. He's your best friend too, is he? Oh, okay, we're sharing then. Right, so that's that then. So we'll do the carburetor up. Riley boy's coming for a waffle, like he does.
What?
Nothing. Didn't say a word.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
So we'll do that up.
I'll see Mummy.
You're going to see Mummy, are you? Right, mate, no worries. Yeah, ta-da, boy. Say bye, Bruce. Good boy. That's it. Right, so we can now hook up the fuel lead. Now that's actually missing a clamp on there, a fuel clamp, and I've got some new ones. I've got a box of them. And we'll put a new fuel clamp on there whilst we're here. Might as well do it right if we're going to do it right at all. Just help stops any leaks. So what size we're going to go for? You look about right, I'd say. Yeah, I think we'll go for you. So let's get a set of pliers or grips. And we're just going to mount this clip onto the fuel lead, and then we'll then clamp that down onto the intake on the carby, like so, and then bring that clamp down to sit on, push it round out of the way. That's it, good, we're happy with that. I now want to turn the fuel on that way and wait for any leaks to come through, which we shouldn't get any, he says. So just let that run through for now. If anything drips, it become apparent quite quick. So the fuel system is now all hooked up and good to go. Next thing I want to do, I want to hook up this this carburetor plate. It's got a breather to go on, which is from your valve cover. So slide that on first, because there can be a bit of a pickle to do afterwards. Slide that into its place. That's going to have to go something like that, I think. That's how that went. So first thing now I want to do, I want to choke the machine. Oh, it's got a manual choke, so we're not worried about that, it's fine. Although that's not choking. Why am I choking then? See that? That ain't choking. It's going. But it ain't going right. That's not choking all the way, that ain't. It seems to be getting caught. Where's that getting caught up then? Get my old inspection torch out. Yeah, that shouldn't. That goes too far. That should go to there. I might have to take this out. Oh, I see. Maybe. I think it's one of these cheaper Chinese jobbies. You have to get hold of this old flap. Give it a bit of a pull out like so. And then it goes. That's it. Yeah. It's a wall hand part. That's that. Happy with that. So that now chokes as it should do. We can now get, they were two little tiny 8mm, weren't they? I think I went on there. 2 of them. That's about right. So 2 little tiny 8mm. That goes around that way. And we're going to put that into there. That into there. We're going to do that up. And then we've got one here, we've got the top. Nick that up. What's on there? It's a quarter, yeah, that'll do. Right, I'll just get my old impact gun, which I think is behind you guys. I just want to zap them on ever so gently. So I'm setting number 1, don't go too mad. That's wind them down. Happy with that. That's all now good. It's still choking. Yeah, we're happy. So no fuel leaks. That's good. Next thing we can do is put that guard back on, I think. That went that way, didn't it? My memory serves me right. It's a bit of a fiddle to get it on. That went onto there, that went onto there. I think that was right. It's a bit of a pig to get past that. That's it, something like that. And then we had 2 or 3 bolts here, which went into there, up the top. I don't know if you're getting that or not. Are you in shot? Oh, up the top. Yeah, you're just about to see me. D-wall. One in there. Slightly smaller size that is, I think. There it goes. And then we want the little Torx bit, didn't we? Little Torx bit that went all the way down in the nether regions. All the way down in there somewhere. And that ended up. I slurped my coffee, I know that. Lovely. Right, that's that done up. Now one more little tiny bolt that went on around the back here somewhere. One there. And then we had the exhaust deflector. And that had a tiddly little tiny screw head on that. I think that was you. Yeah, it was. And you just want to make sure that your deflector is not pointing up in the air. You want it pointing to one side, out the way. So we're going to have ours about there. It's threaded one side, so it wants to go that way. So that when it bites down, it'll go through the bolt and bite the other side. So watch me drop this. Perfect. So we're happy with that. We can now put our air box on. That has got a good filter in it. I'm not a fan of that, I'm not a fan of that, I'm not a fan of that. That's better, something like that. Something like that. A flat-headed driver. Put that onto there. Right, so we're done. I'll get it off the old bench and we'll wheel it out once I find where this hole goes. I ain't doing nothing. What's occurring? That's a stupid cable. We don't like the cable. It goes in there like that. Oh, I'm going to fight with this for 3 hours. You wait and see if I don't. That's better. Alright. So yeah, I get it off a bench. We'll take it outside. And we'll go for a run up. So far we've given the carburetor clean, just a manual clean. If it doesn't respond, it'll go in the cleaner, but I was convinced I can get it to respond quite well. Just for a manual clean. Air filter was okay, pre-filter was okay, happy with that. New spark plug, new fuel screen. It's had a blowout through the tank, no fuel leaks, so we're good to go. So let's take it outside, see what it doesn't do. I ideally want the machine to run without hunting. Oh yeah, you're there. Right, so here's the machine. That's what we can do now. Fuel's on, no leaks. I haven't fired it at all. I don't put enough petrol in there. I'll just flush it. Yeah, there's a bit in there. I might put a bit more fuel in there. So I won't be able to tell if it's going to hunt or not, you see. Let's just put a bit more fuel in. Just for argument's sake, because if it's running low, then it might hunt, and that'll give me the impression the carburetor wants doing again. Let's just put a drop more in. It's not very full. Just to give it half a chance. There's about half a litre. Okay. Let's see what we get then. Now, I've not used this before, so I'm not familiar. That I'm assuming is gears. That's rabbit. That says neutral, fast, and walk. So that's some kind of gearing. I'm not sure what that does yet. Oh, there's a gear. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. What we've got here, that looks like tines. It's a bit bent up, that is. So that's tines. And that, I think it could possibly be reverse. We'll figure it out as we go, shall us? If it just starts to shut off without me, I'll have to grab hold of it. So that's stop. That's all the throttle working yet. So let's put it on to start. Let's choke the machine. There's no on-off button on this. Fuel's already on. Let's see what we get, shall we? Reverse time. Is there no drive? There's no drive in this machine. Okay, I'm a bit concerned because maybe that's a locking nut. Maybe we'll try that. Yeah, these aren't freewheeling. These are like freewheeling hubs on these. So you have to lock these up into position. Look, that's a thing. I was just about to tear the axle apart. And I think if you lock them up like that, and now we start it. Let's make sure it's in neutral. I think it's going to be about there. We'll start it again. It might shoot off with me, so bear with. That's better. I see. Right, there we go. So reverse. Handle up. Forward. Good. Got a very, very small hunt to it. Not too bad though. But it runs. It runs. Took a bit of figuring out how to operate the machine, because you've got these like these freewheeling hubs just here, which you undo, like on the old style 4x4s. You undo them, and that disengages the gear because there's a bolt on the front, and then you can just freewheel it. Just took a bit of figuring that out, but there you go. So yeah, it's a very, very small hunt to the machine, but nothing that's going to stop the machine from working. And Jim can now go forward and do a deal with this fella. Got quite a good machine by the looks of it. Starts, stops, does everything it should do. So yeah, pretty good. I'll give Jim a bell. He'll be happy as Larry. Okay, so that's the rototiller now all done. However, I do have a confession, and that is I tested it again a bit later on, and a hunt appeared. Quite a severe hunt, so I had to put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, and it's got the smallest of hunts, but when you put it under load it disappears. So it's about as good as it's going to get without putting a brand new carburetor on there. So it's all running. I have just phoned Jim up, and he's super impressed. Now I can go back to the bloke and do a deal with the bloke to purchase a machine. Now the machine has been tested and it all runs exactly as it should do, so he's super, super happy. If this is the first time you're watching Micks Mowers, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told one done a video or two on my Saturday night wiki live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until people, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.